This is my office, and it is amazing. Let's go check out some more of it. So this is the parking lot to the Tumalo Falls trailhead. If you ever get a chance to hike out there and see Tumalo Falls, I highly recommend it. And this is Bearwalla Road that heads up the mountain up above Tumalo Falls, where we have a broke down Dodge Dakota. I think that's what it is, but we got to head up here a few miles, get some four-wheel drive going, and go find this Dodge. That sign says deaf dog, please slow down, so we will take it easy. But we're gonna head up here about 4 or 5 miles or so. I guess this truck broke down, sounds like early this morning, way off out in the snow, and they got it drug out to just out of the snow. And I haven't been up here since we've had the warm weather and the snows started to melt away. We did a bunch of stuff up here at the track Jeep this winter, but I haven't been up here since then, so I'm not sure just where the snow stops, but apparently wherever the snow stops is where our truck is. So we're gonna head up, see how far we have to go, and see what we gotta do to get it out of there. Now, I thought he said it was at the intersection to the cell tower, which is up there, or this is the intersection because the cell tower's up there, but it's not here. So now the question is, do we take that road? Do we take that road? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm taking cell tower road. This is probably wrong. If you're looking for a spot to camp with a view, I would suggest right here. Check this out. Down here in the bottom you got the cliffs up above the Tumalo Falls trailhead down there. A lot of people go rock climbing stuff on there. Then you have Tumalo Mountain, very popular skiing, where you hike to the top and ski down, and up behind that, the big one back there, is Mount Bachelor. Super popular big ski resort up there, so very cool area here. And then we come back over here, you can see down into the town of Bend, way down there in the bottom of the valley. Super cool spot. Now, if you want to see a really good snow recovery, where I got swindled into shoveling some dude's car out of the snow on what I was told was going to be an easy on-the-road tow, it was right here. It was one of the very few where I've gotten pretty frustrated and actually mad at the customer because they very intentionally misled me on what I was doing. And I will put a link to that video at the end of this video in that little in-screen card thing, so stay tuned for that. Okay, well, the truck was not up that road, so now we're gonna head up this road and see if it's out here. It's right there. I literally just drove way up that other road, and if I had to turn this corner, it's 50 feet in front of me. That's my luck. But you know what? That's okay, because we got to check out some really cool views while we were up there, and that is the most important part about this job. Actually, you know what? This would be the perfect time to introduce the new, I never said I was good at this, Cascade Heavy Rescue shirts that will be live on the website by the time you see this at cascadehevyrrescue/shop. See? I never said I was good at this. I said I was going to make this shirt. A lot of people didn't believe me. Here it is. Now you can have it too. Anyway, here's our Dodge Dakota. Just like he said, right at the intersection. That is literally the intersection right there. I don't know what broke down on it, but that doesn't matter because we're just going to pick the front up with the wheel lift, throw the dollies under the back, and tow it out of here. Vehicle has broken axle, waiting for snow melt to return. Well, they drug it out of the snow, so I wonder how long it's been up here. Not that one. That one. It looks like a busted CV shaft there in the front, so we'll spin the truck around and get hooked up to it. Forget to take the dollies out before I backed up under the truck and have it right here, but that's okay. They still fit. Grab our dolly bar. We can raise it up. And then we flip our locks. All right, now we just got to tie a bunch of stuff down. When you do that, just take your strap like this, take and push it back through itself, and you now have a lasso loop that you can put over the tire, and you can line this in. This is a self-ratcheting strap, so there's no tail hanging out. Hook to the loop on the dolly, and you're secure. Just tuck the tail in here. Good. Now this is something I seriously disagree with the wheel lift manufacturer on how they did this. The one strap over the tire thing is not the problem. That holds the tire just fine. It's a very common standard way of self-loading wheel lifts being tied down. What I disagree with is the L-arm side being on the inside of the tire and the crossbar side being on the outside of the tire. That makes no sense to me. And let me tell you why. So this crossbar is one solid tube all the way across, plenty strong, no moving parts in the crossbar itself. The L-arms, on the other hand, have this hinge bushing here and this hinge bushing here that all that weight is prying down on. So to me, what makes the most sense is to put that far hook side right here on the inside of the tire in the front of it, then come over the tire and put the ratchet on the L-arm side on the outside of the tire, so that when you ratchet it tight, you're pulling up and giving some support to this L-arm, which is a much thinner, smaller material than the crossbar and has two joints in it that are taking that twisting load right now. You take all that twist out of it. And yes, I know when you're ratcheting down tight, you're pulling up, but you're also pulling the tire down into it, but it does pull up on the outside of this L-arm and give it some support from that twisting force that it has on it right now. Okay, so a lot of people ask me why I run these individual side-to-side lights instead of the single light bar that Towmate makes that every other tow truck in the world runs. And that is because of this, fiberglass camper shells. Magnets don't stick to fiberglass, so what do? Got plastic on top of the bumper, ain't gonna stick to that. But with these individual ones, I can stick them right on the sides just fine. Got both lights on the back and we're good to go. And yes, I did put the safeties on. You can see, there they are. It's like airing down. If you don't show the internet that you did it, you didn't do it. Don't care. So let's head back down the mountain. So So these are the Collins G7 50th anniversary dollies. I've been running them for 2 years now, I think, getting close to that. Testing them for Collins. They're not out to market just yet, but Collins dollies are the only dollies on the market that are off-road rated, which is good because I do a lot of off-road stuff. And yes, my brakes are squeaking. I know, I live on a dusty dirt road. It happens. Straight ahead there is the city of Bend, but we gotta make a U-turn and wind down this canyon way back here and then way back out there to get to the city of Bend where this thing is going. Alright, well, we're still just slow cruising on out of here because it's kind of steep, even though it doesn't look like it, and there's a big giant drop off over there, even though it doesn't look like it. So just taking it easy. We gotta go all the way down there from the canyon, make one more switch back, and then head all the way back out of the canyon back there and head back towards town. Finally, our last turn down into the bottom where we hit the pavement, then we cross the one-lane bridge and we head down the road towards town. Now we gotta figure out where we're gonna drop this thing off. It is beautiful down here. All right, let's actually give it some more gears now. Okay, we're here at the shop, so that means it is time for you to click on this video right here and watch me struggle and get frustrated and mad at the customer and all that good stuff because I got totally swindled on what happened in this one. So let's face it, you watched me unload 100 cars at shop, so check this out instead.